So I've been coming up here to Tuftonboro, Wolfeboro since I was born because both my grandparents have had summer cottages here, and I was a Navy brat, so we moved all over the place, but we consistently came here every summer, and so I called it home base. It was my one place I always knew and was familiar with. And when I had a chance, as when I got to the point of choosing colleges, and I had a chance to choose where I was going to live, I chose the University of New Hampshire because New Hampshire was my home base. So that's my grandfather on my mom's side was a retired admiral in the Navy. My dad was in the Navy. My both my brothers were in the Navy. My uncle, they were all Naval Academy graduates too. So, anyways, he had contacted my dad's mom when he went to retire and said, "Do you know anybody who's going to be selling a cottage up there so that we can have it as our summer place?" And my grandmother said, "Yeah, I think I do." And she went down to my dad's elementary school and talked to the headmaster there, who was Joshua Quincy Litchfield, who had built a cottage down along the same shoreline that their cottage was, and that's the cottage that they bought. So um, that also, I say, get we inherited with that cottage the Abenaki Tower because Joshua Quincy Litchfield was one of the originators of the tower. So I've lived full time in Wolfeboro for 10 years. I came here. I had been working at the University of New Hampshire, which I had never thought I'd go back to my alma mater, but I actually went back twice to work. Anyways, I was working there as the outreach educator for the Institute of Earth, Oceans, and Space, and I was the person who translated the research that was going on for the public. And in and when I left that position, I was hired as the first executive director of the Lake Wentworth Foundation, which is now known as the Wentworth Watershed Association, which does water quality and land conservation work for Crescent and Lake Wentworth. Um, well, there are two aspects, I think, for why I'm running. One is that I have been increasingly alarmed at some of the things that were coming out of Concord, and particularly in the field of education, but in a whole range of things, the environment and even the lack of the inability to address the issue of minimum wage, or some things to me that seemed um, obviously needed weren't. They were extreme in some circumstances and not happening in other circumstances. So that was a substantial contributor to it, and that to me represented. I said to somebody recently, it had to smack me in the face when I visited the State House recently. I met with a retired legislator who was, explaining what was going on and how things operated. And she said in the process, it used to be that when you came here as a representative, the belief was you voted your values and conscience first, your constituents and their um, priorities second, and your party third. And right now, we have a situation where one of the parties just believes you vote the party first, the party second, the party third. And if you don't vote that way, then you're out of here. And they'll primary you out or they'll run you out. And that's happened to two of our own representatives. So we here in Wolfeboro and Tuftonboro have experienced that firsthand, and so that really was a motivating factor.